It was ugly, but it had to happen. Because if it didn't happen, I probably would have ended up right back in that situation. This is Janelle Sanchez, and you're listening to Your Best Thing, the podcast. I'm so excited that you joined us for this episode. I was talking to my supervisor today, and as many of you know, I'm currently working on my clinical license. So every week I have 1 hour supervision with my supervisor where I talk about some of my cases and I talk about the different things that we're working through, my clients are working through, and just different ways I can approach the situation, approach the session, approach therapy as a therapist, better, learning, growing, all that good stuff. So I was thinking this past weekend, I was actually sharing this with her, how I have a few clients who just stopped coming to therapy, just stopped. And I'm not surprised because if I'm being honest with myself, when I was in undergrad, I remember a few times I was in therapy and I just kind of stopped going. I went from being one of those faithful people who go every single day, week to I'm sorry, I got other things to do. It's not priority to me. I got to keep it going. I got to keep my other things in life going. Side note, this summer, I know we outside, but make sure you just communicate with your therapist. Trust me, they're not going to take it offense. It's okay. Just let them know hey, we're going to stop for the summer. Or just keep going to therapy, y'all. Keep going to therapy. And actually what we're talking about here now is actually going to be a reason why maybe you should keep going to therapy if you are in therapy. So anyway, I was telling her how starting this journey, I thought to myself when I got back into the field that I didn't think I was going to be one of those people who were going to get really, be outside of my clinical hours and living my best life and thinking about my clients. I was trying hard to set a good boundary of just enjoying my life. But the truth is I'm human, and not just that, but I do care about my clients. And this is the reason why I do what I do. So I was telling her how I had clients who just stopped showing up. And that was really hard for me because I seen how much progress they made. And I was so excited. And I just seeing them every week, pursue their goals, pursue healing, pursue this other lifestyle that they deserve to live and they deserve to experience, and then just stop coming. I got in my feelings, not in the sense that I'm in feelings they didn't come to therapy, just more I want to see them. I want to keep seeing them succeed. And she said something to me that made me stop. And not just, when you're talking to someone about something specific, but then when they say a thing, it kind of drips into every other part of your life. I'm like, girl, you better preach to me. Stop playing. She said, sometimes when we stop something, it's not because it's a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. We just stop. It's not because something's going wrong. Actually, it's quite the opposite. It means the work that you've done and what that thing that we were doing, it served its purpose. And it means we no longer need that. We have actually healed to a place that we can keep moving without that, even if it's for a season. It served its purpose and now it no longer serves you. Or maybe there's other things in your life that could serve you better in the season. And when she said that to me, I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah, you're completely right. When I remember going to therapy and as an undergrad and being there strictly every week. And then it's you learn to use these skills. You learn to journal. You learn to your deep breaths. You learn how to self-regulate. You learn all these things. And then it's yeah, I don't really need to be at that session. I could rather go to this other thing going on. But it doesn't serve you, or it's not, you're not dependent on it like you were before. Do you get what I'm saying? And the same I thought about even my own life right now. I am on this thing where I'm I need to get back on my routine. I need to get back on my fitness routine that I had a few months ago, that I had a year ago. I was just killing it. I need to get back into a mental space where I just felt my vibrations were so high, and now I just don't feel like that. I was thinking about these things in my head while she's talking to me. I don't know, ADHD much? I don't know. But I was thinking about this and I'm oh my goodness, all those things I used to do all the time. I remember before I moved to Philly, I was such a big listener of like the YouTube motivational speeches every single day because I was so focused on reprogramming my mind. I was so big on writing affirmations on sticky notes all over my apartment. I remember if you would walk into my apartment, you would literally just see all of these sticky notes all over my apartment. I remember I would do that faithfully. I remember I would wake up before the sun came up, and I remember I was like, I need to listen to this. I need to put this in my mind. I'm a movement first. All these things that cause my vibration, to cause my energy, my mindset to just be at a higher place. So then when I would think about the moves I wanted to make, my fear was just not an option. It was like I was forward thinking. I was excited. I was manifesting, I feel like, because I was in the future. Like I was like, this is my life now, and I realized while she's talking to me, even after, I'm over here needing to be focused on this, on this case, but I had to like stop and pause because it was like so profound to me. And I thought, Janelle, oh my goodness, pause on the therapy stuff, but for your personal life, get back to the things that you were doing that made you, that made your vibration high, that made you make choices that were risky, that made you fearless, that made you want to get up and just take your little microphone and interview random people. Like, get back to that space where you are like in a different vibration, you're just in a different space, a different world. If you know, you know. So that's that. So that's that. Back to my supervision meeting. I thought to myself, oh my goodness, she's so right. Like I remember this client coming in and it was at one place. They were at one place, we got in so many different, working through so many different things, and then just like some coping skills and all that good stuff. And now this client is living a totally different life. And it's a beautiful life. And I thought to myself, oh my goodness, yes, this is exactly what we do therapy for. This is why we do what we do. And I thought about, again, pause back to my own situation. I thought to myself, I stopped doing those things because I got to where I wanted to go, and I didn't need it. It no longer served me in that time. So then she said to me, when you start moving forward with your clients, when you start with the end in mind. Girl, oh my goodness. First of all, Kristen Reinhardt, I'm gonna call you out right now, girl. You were preaching to me, okay? You were speaking life. I don't know. I don't know if you knew what you were doing to the girl. I went on a 1-hour walk after supervision, and let me tell you, I was just really taking time to take in what she shared with me. But she said, start with the end in mind. And again, yes, it was great for my therapy sessions, and that was great. But I thought about my personal life, and I thought about friendships. And not that I'm thinking about my friendships like I'm going to end my friendships. I just posted my vlog from this past week of my best friends. Like, that's not happening. But I did think of these temporary friends that we have, right? Temporary people in our life, that they come into our life for a season. And again, I think I said this in another episode, we don't have to demonize them. We don't have to demonize what once served us, and including ourselves. We don't have to demonize the decisions we've made for ourselves at a younger time. I'm gonna just let you sit with that for a little bit. I say that because I remember when I was about 25, I think it was 25, I decided to leave the church. I grew up in church, y'all. I was like, oh my goodness, in it. Shoot, you would have thought I was Kirk Franklin's cousin. I grew up in church, and that's what my life revolved around. I mean, I remember there was a time, my family still makes fun of me because they're like, remember when you just wanted to be simple and you were just like, I just want a little poor life. I just want to be humble in my little humble life. And I'm like, please don't ever remind me of that. But I just remember my life was so wrapped up. And not saying that if you want to live that life, that churchy life that you have, that's the kind of view you had. I'm not saying that. So go be rich and love the Lord. Okay. But I remember I was leaving the church, and I was so involved. I was out here. I was a whole worship leader out here, y'all. My town was so little. So it's you knew a lot of people. And in the midst of like leaving the church, I was going through some like family stuff. All of my beliefs and my values and everything, I just felt like they just came crumbling down. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know, what I believed in like all my life is no longer what I stand for. And experiencing some things again, like going on within my family. And I just was like, who are you, Janelle? And what are you believing now? And in that, I made a stupid decision of, I got with this married guy, y'all. Not just any married guy. He was with, damn, I'm telling y'all a lot today. I don't know. Do we want to go here today? Are we going to go here today? Let's just say that situation was messy. It was so messy. And I remember when, going through that, I just remember just being in a space that I just let the situation take me. I didn't even take it. I just let the situation take me. Now, there's a lot of different parts to that story. Maybe we should do a story time sometime. Because, they always make things seem like one thing when it's not. But anyway, as I gotten older and as I moved on with my life, and I've just like made different decisions, obviously, and gotten back to myself and grew my own beliefs and became me, For a while, I remember looking back to my younger self, and not that I didn't like her or felt like hate towards my old self. I just remember thinking like, Janelle, why did you have to go through all of that? Why did you make that decision? And like almost having a sense of shame towards myself. And now I feel the need to say this because I think this is so important. When something is serving you, sometimes we do things. And this is why when I speak to people too, and they're like, oh, I did this, I did that when I was younger. I was like, well, guess what? You did that because it served you for that moment. When you're trying to get through something, you're trying to survive something, you're trying to get through something. Sometimes the choices we make or the coping skills we have are not ideal. They're not maybe like in the eyes of other like correct, right? But you did what you did. Your younger self did what they did because it served them in that moment, and it helped them survive. It helped them get through. It did X, Y, Z. So I'm always like, you know what? If something served you in that moment, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay to look back and be like, listen, I don't agree with that. I wouldn't do it again. But it served me in that time. It served me in that moment. And whatever way that my heart needed that was deep down inside. And that was just the iceberg, the tip. So we have to learn to like look back at ourselves and not demonize ourselves, not view ourselves as this horrible person. No, we are all people. We experience this world, and we have, with the tools that we have, that's what we try to, grow. That's how we try to grow. That's how we try, with the tools that are given to us, I should say, with the tools that are given to us. That's what we build with. And sometimes you're not given a hammer and a nail, if you get what I'm saying metaphorically. And that's okay. You don't have to demonize the person that helped you get through. Okay, and that person I mean by you. In the same way, you don't have to demonize friendships. Friendships that didn't work out. I think as an adult right now, I'm really pressing into, I'm protecting my peace over everything. Okay, I'm pressing into my boundaries are my boundaries. Okay, I'm leaning into, I'm standing on business when it comes to, this ain't for me, and I don't need to deal with it. I'm leaning into that. Again, we don't have to demonize anyone. We could just step back and be like, listen, you were cool when you're cool. I'm realizing now that our values are not aligned. The way you view the world, not that I need to be friends with everyone who views the world the same, but I'm being intentional about where I'm going. And if I want my mind to be at a different place, I want to be set at a high vibration, I just can't be around this kind of stuff. And that's okay. And that's really okay. And you know what? Sometimes a situation kind of like that, what I told you earlier about my younger self, sometimes those situations are not ideal, right? Sometimes the situations are hurtful. But if you can sit back and be mature about it. You can be, use a critical mind about it. You can have empathy looking back at the person, at yourself, at the situation. You can see, yeah, I could see where this didn't work out. I could see, how that thing served me for a moment, but now it didn't, and it had to blow up. It had to happen. Do you ever look back at a situation in your life that you're like, it was ugly, but it had to happen? It was ugly, but it had to happen. Because if it didn't happen, I probably would have ended up right back in that situation. I talk to my friend Carrie about this all the time. I'm like, girl, those years were ugly, but it had to happen. Because I would have been stuck. I would have been stuck in that church setting. And again, if that's for you, it's for you, but it ain't for me. And I would have been stuck playing the same song in my life, and the same with friendships. You probably, if maybe your friendships or relationships, sometimes people are like, damn, like why did so-and-so, why did we have to break up? Why this, why that? But you know what, honey, it had to happen. Oh my gosh, talking about relationships. Let me tell you, I actually, I'm really putting out a lot today, and maybe it's because I'm just in a place where I'm like, just learning to be more, okay with, not okay, but I'm learning to like not be so critical of myself in this area. I mean, not area, but in this season of my life. So I'm like working on not being like perfecting things, not being perfect, right? So for example, this podcast, I told myself, I'm like, you know what, Janelle, we got one shot. We are going to cut it. And if you don't want that out there, don't say it right now. But also, girl, like, we're not going to have the and the this and that. We're not going to do that. And if we do, it's going to be okay. Because honestly, I want this podcast to feel like we're sitting down together, and we're just like, chatting it up, and we are just being honest with each other. But, so a big part of my life, because I'm saying all that because a big part of my life that I don't really share about is my dating life. And, I actually today was thinking on my long walk that I had after me and my supervisor had that, meeting. I was thinking about, I went, how you just be like thinking, I hop from thing to thing of what I'm thinking about. I hop from different, situations in my life, different sectors of my life. So I was thinking about dating, and of course it's my luteal phase. So during my luteal phase, I feel like my mind just be going to these sad places when it comes to my dating life. I'd be like, what the heck? Like, like I'm popping. I'm really cool, actually. Like, I'm pretty normal, I think. I mean, I am a chatty Cathy, but I am like ready for partnership, but I'd be meeting some weird people. So anyway, so I was thinking about my ex, and, I haven't been with him in like 5 years. And I thought, man, he's such a good guy, right? That whole situation, I just remember meeting him and just our time together. He's so smart. He actually was so awesome in the way that he even helped me view the world different and exposed me to things that I haven't been exposed to on a mental level, and his drive and his ambition. Like, I just felt like we mirrored each other in that way, and it was exciting. And then it didn't work out. It didn't work out for, different reasons. But then he like had a baby, he got married, and I remember thinking to myself, like, why did that happen? Like, why did that happen? Like, why he have a baby like that so fast? And, as time went on, and, life is life. And sometimes I like to think like my whole life is like the This Is Us series. Okay. People circle back around. And I remember us connecting again. And now he has a beautiful child. And I remember thinking like, oh my gosh, like, why did this have to happen? Why did he have to have a baby? And I'm not saying that a guy having a baby is the last thing in the world. I'm not saying that. I just know for me right now, I don't want to date someone with kids. That's me. That's my decision. I'm not saying that's for everyone. For me right now, it is. And I was just thinking to myself, like, dang, like, why do you have to have a baby? Like, this could have been so good for us, But then I started thinking that, and I started thinking about what my supervisor said. And I was like, it had to happen. It had to happen. Like, well, now my supervisor said what I said a few minutes ago, but that had to happen. He had to have a baby because one of my non-negotiables is I will not date someone with a baby or with a kid. And I thought to myself, if it did not happen that way, I probably would have ended up with him. We probably would have ended up, I probably would have had a baby right now, but with him. But there's other things that I've gotten to know about myself, not just about him, yes, but about myself, that I'm like, you know what? That would not have worked. I love the city. I'm a city girl. Now I'm a big city girl. But he doesn't love the city. He hates the city. He's like, I'm moving away from the city. Do you get what I'm saying? This would not have worked. I get excited. I get energized by the city. He would have been like, oh no, we are not like this, no. I think about compatibility and the way I want to be loved and the way I know that I want to love. And when I thought about those things, things are always look better when you look back. Things always look better, like in hindsight. You just always tend to remember the good things. You don't really remember the bad things. But let me tell you, I am that friend though that will remind you of the bad things. My mom, she's so funny. She called me. She goes, Janelle, thank you so much for reminding me of the bad things. Because it helps me like make the logical decision. Shout out to all the Virgos out here. Okay. So, so I just thought about that. I'm like, you know what? I don't think about all the things that all the reasons we did not work out, I was just thinking about the good things. And he had to experience that. He had to go and have his baby and all that good stuff because I just had to cut that off. Do you get what I'm saying? And that's an example. I know some people are like, what the hell, kind of example is that? But for me, that is my example. And, I think about that. I think about my whole experience with the whole church thing. Like some dramatic things have to happen for you to move forward, for you to look back and say, I can never go back. You ever look back and see if you want it? Like you ever, like I go to a store sometimes and I love the Built bars, the protein Built bars. And I am not gonna lie, if I buy one, I need to buy like 4 because they're so good. And I want to have them, stocked up. Sometimes I'll grab 4 and I'll look back to see if I want to grab just one more. Girl, no, you're good. Keep it moving. Sometimes we look back and we need something to remind us that we don't gotta look back. Okay, we can't go back. Not gotta look back, but we can't go back. So, but those versions of us, like I said, those versions of us back there, they served us, and those things that serve us, they have an end date. They have an expiration date. And whether it's a negative thing that happened, right? Like maybe it's a negative way you dealt with something, or maybe it's a positive thing that happened. Maybe your friendship was positive to a certain extent. And then moving on, you've evolved and you're like, I'm not really into this. Or you realize that's like, hey, your mentality is you're not going where I'm going, and the fight happened, not fight because y'all know I can't fight, but like a misunderstanding happened or something like that. Or you're just like, oh, that's how you really feel. That had to happen because where you're going, where you're headed, there's things that have to be cut off. And it's okay to have things that served you that maybe now you don't agree with. That's okay. That means you're growing. Y'all, that means you're growing. Like, I wish so bad. I think we would judge each other less and judge ourselves less and forget about other people. I just think ourselves, right? Because a lot of times the way we view the world and interact with the world is really a reflection of how we feel on the inside. And if we're growing, if we are doing things to help us move forward and become this, become our best self, yes, we're not going to agree with the old versions of ourselves. Yes, we are not going to align with the old habits that we once had. We're not going to align with the old decisions we once made. And that is the point. Now, there are other things, like therapy, for example, that we will come back to because that's something that can serve us in so many different ways, and it's overall like a positive thing, right? Like it's a good assistance, it's a good support, something like that where it can come in seasons. That is something that maybe is of service that you can see going in and out of your life. But yeah, those decisions, maybe people, you will look back and be like, yeah, I outgrew that. And you should. That's good. That's the point of this life, right? Is to grow. Now, with that being said, you can feel relief and sadness at the same time. You can feel growth and sadness at the same time. Now, thinking about back into this appointment that I had, this supervision I had, and just thinking about, like, when something's done, it doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. When something doesn't serve us anymore, it doesn't mean it's a bad thing. When something's done, it doesn't mean it failed. It means really the opposite. Like when something that used to serve us isn't serving us anymore, it means it did what it had to do. Okay. So like today I was thinking to myself, like, wow, it's been a long time since I put up some affirmations, but the fact that I haven't really been doing that whole thing, it worked. It helped me for a season. The motivational videos in the morning, that really did help me for a season. And now I'm just wrapping back around because I'm going to a new era, a new space in my life where I'm like, you know what, let me pick that back up again. I often tell people, lean into the things that give you energy. Well, guess what? Running still gives me energy. It gives me a lot of energy, being outside, going for long walks, running, cycling. I think I need to pick that back up. Not me trying to do another half marathon. I think maybe I might. Picking back up the first thing, the whole routine of the first thing I do when I wake up is listen to something motivational, listen to something that's going to help me reprogram my mind. Maybe I'll pick that back up. Picking up those habits. What are some habits that you have in mind, or that not you have in mind, but that you're thinking about right now listening to this, that maybe you used to do before you got to where you're at now, that really helped you and that could still serve you now? What are some things that you did? Did you meditate often? Were you like a runner or a workouter in the morning? Did you have a certain person that you would talk to, a mentor, someone that really put some fire inside of you? What did you wake up early before? And now you're finding that, hey, you know what? I haven't been waking up early. And before they used to like really do something for me. What is it that you did? Did you journal? Y'all know I love to journal. Y'all know I want to mention that already. So that was a little bit of everywhere. Not gonna lie. But I felt like it was good. I'm sure that you grabbed something from there. It was nice sharing with you today. I'm looking forward to our next episode. And know this, if something that used to serve you in the past is no longer serving you, that's completely okay. If you need to pick it up because it's something that, like therapy, right? Or something like movement, something like that, pick it up if you need that. If you need that in this season again, it's okay. Do not demonize people, places, and things that once served you, especially yourself. Be the kindest to yourself. Be the most loving to yourself. Love that version of you that got you through that season. Love them down. Okay? And don't be afraid to lean in. And keep the end in mind when you start. I'm still like chewing on that. Keep the end in mind. Also, side note, when you keep the end in mind, guess what? Maybe the way you start is different. When you keep the end in mind, maybe the way you start is different. I'm going to talk about that, especially for dating. Keep the end in mind. Because when I keep the end in mind, if the goal is like, I want a partnership, I want a commitment, the way I start that thing, trust me, I'm going to make sure that I'm not starting with somebody who, first of all, don't meet my non-negotiables as far as like just some things I have in mind. No cigarettes, please. Duh. No babies. Those are my non-negotiables right now, Money. Okay? Stop playing. Keep those things in mind because the way you go into it or the way you stay away from it, okay, is going to determine the end. Keep the end in mind. It's going to determine the beginning. Keep the end in mind and the start might be different. Okay? So if you have any thoughts, any comments, anything that came to mind while this episode was playing, while you were in your car, you were on your walk, you were getting ready, let me know. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your experiences. Let me know what you want to hear more about. Let me know what you want to hear more of. You guys, it's going to be a good season. It's going to be this next few months. I just really feel like if you've been having a hard ass last like 4 months, I think the next few months, it's going to be your time. It's going to be your time to blossom. It's going to be your time to grow and walk into your confidence and your success. And you know what? I'm just going to speak this over you. If you're still listening, if you're still here, the next few months are going to be such a turnaround for you. They are going to be full of smiles and laughter and stress relief. I know right now there's so much going on in the world that is so stressful, but keep your head up, keep that mind in the future, and keep that smile big because the turnaround is coming for you. Keep the end in mind. Keep the end in mind and be encouraged. So, all right, y'all. Talk to you soon. Thanks for tuning in.